Hey, what's better than a new bike? Not much. There are a few things in life, but not a lot. So, really cool bike. Picked up a brand new 2019 300XC. Really cool bike. First thing people are going to say is, why didn't you get a fuel injected bike? Well, we're going to wait a little while. We have rode them and we still like this one, even though we still have to change the carburetor or spend a bunch of time modifying this carburetor. But this carburetor, the stock one, can work just fine if you modify it and get it to some people to work with. There's guys that can work on it for you. So, but we have the luxury of being able to run a Key-In or a Electron. We're probably gonna put the Electron on this thing first, and then we'll try the Key-In. But we have this brand new bike. It's pretty awesome to have a brand new bike. But anyway, so the first things that we're gonna do is, with a brand new bike, I don't say before you ride it, but shortly thereafter, because everybody's eager to go ride them. The things you want to do, greasing up the steering stem bearings, you want to do these straight away. We usually do them the first time we have the forks off. It's a little easier with the forks off. We'll grease up both bearings. On this kickstand side, we'll flop this around. I've mentioned this one in videos. We'll flop this around this way. This way the kickstand can go all the way down. Right now it can't go all the way down because it's hitting right there and won't let the kickstand come all the way like it should. Why do they do that? I don't know. So if we flip that foot peg pin in, we're good. The other thing I would do is grease all linkage. Grease here, grease all that. Greasing the swing arm's a little bit more difficult, more of a job. Depends how committed you want to be to your long term of your bike to get to that. So, but on these KTMs, brake fluid, all that kind of stuff is good to go. We're gonna go try this thing out right now. Spencer and I are both gonna go ride it, kind of see what we think, and then we're gonna be throwing on a few parts. We're gonna start throwing on stuff on this thing. And why? Because we can. So we're gonna throw on some cool parts. We have a bar bend that we like. We run the 603 or 604, but tend to be 603 now. It's a little bit lower than 604, but taller than these stock KTM bars. From rental, that's what we run, and we like those bars. We'll probably go up one on the gearing. We're gonna feel it, but we've been running 51, and the motor's basically the same for 19. They've done a lot of changes to this bike with the frame. Got the updated frame that the 4-stroke models have gotten. The pipe fits different. The mounts are different. So far, FMF doesn't have a pipe for this or a silencer. We're gonna check that out to see if the 18 silencer will fit. Does not look like it's going to. So this bike's got those updates, but the motor is basically the same motor. From what I understand, they have done some updates to the carb, again, to make it jet a little bit better and to run a little better. This bike has the plastic, the updated plastic to go along with the new frame that the new 4-strokes have gotten. You still have your plugs right here to plug in your headlight. Can plug a headlight right in. So XCW headlight, go right in. The rear piece right here, underneath here, right now, for 19, from what I can tell, there's no models that have that piece, that black piece that goes under here, that have this new plastic. So we won't be able to, in the past we've been able to buy the XCW rear fender, put it on here, put that plastic piece on here, and it gives you something really good to grab onto, and you can also help you for making a street legal bike, or if you want to have your plate and light and everything here. So, but nothing yet for 19 on this bike. So, really cool bike. Looking forward to going ride it. We're gonna go ride it, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so Spencer and I just ripped around the field test. That's very scientific, by the way. We don't have a ton of good trails right around us here unless it rains. We have to go hours away. So we have a big trip planned in a few weeks, so we're going to be taking this thing out. So far, we just rode it and it feels amazing. Still feels some of the same things we felt on the 17, 18 models, especially down low, little gurgles, but honestly, it'd be a great bike the way it sits. We're going to mess with it and try to make it better. The other things I do to a brand new bike, I always like to grease these bolts right here in this finger, chain adjuster bolts. Good idea to always adjust those. Also on your first brand new bike, first hour, change the oil, you know, because you got fresh shavings in there and so forth, the brand new motor. Jump that. Everything else in this bike is great. Your kit has new bolts to get rid of these handguards, and you put wraparounds on. That's something we'll be doing. We're going to be getting, attacking all this. You can see we'll have like part 3, 5, and 7 on this bike over the next year or two. So we're looking forward to riding this thing a bunch. We'll be taking it to Green River in Utah here very soon. And we'll be riding this thing in this fall a couple times, and then out here in California in the winter time. So again, not much better than a brand new bike, and this thing feels amazing. So go get one, or if you can't, go get another job so you can get it. Work 2 jobs. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, pretty fun. Although we've said before, you can have plenty of fun on a $3,000 bike on the trails that we've had on, a $10,000 bike. So anyway, really cool new bike, KTM XC 300 XC, proper term. It's gonna be fun playing with this thing for a while. So hopefully we'll see you out in the trail.
What's going on?
Little Electron install, and I have to wear glasses because I'm old, but getting it set up. We're gonna do V-force at the same time. Hey, so I'm gonna add a little bit of things to my initial KTM thing. First thing, there's still no skid plate mount. The XCFs and SXFs have a cool skid plate mounts. They don't come with a skid plate, but they come with skid plate mounts. Why an XC doesn't come with skid plate mounts is really a bummer when the XCWs, the EXCs, the SX models all have skid plate mounts. So you have to buy an aftermarket skid plate with a clamp to hold it to the frame. So bad on KTM for your $10,000 bike not having a skid plate mount. So you still got to mount it old school for right now. That's a drag. So bad deal. But we still like the bike, so we still got to buy it. So we're stuck with it. The other thing is, when they updated the plastic, this piece right here for getting to your air filter, it's still easy and everything, but you have to take a little time. You have to push it up and line it up in this groove. Just take your time. You learn how to do it. Spencer had me slow down and get the patience of how to do it. So that's a new thing. Also up here at the frame, you're going to see there's no more bolts for your frame stop. Where'd that go? Right here. Go in there, Spence. There's no more bolts. So now they have the frame stops are just built into the frame. No more bolts sitting there that rust away and you never adjust anyway. The other weird thing is this is actually a seat bolt. See how long that sucker is? That comes in from this side, goes all the way under the seat, and then on this side, so they come through like this, will screw in, and this one will screw in from this side,
It's opposite.
Yeah, it's opposite, but anyway, it comes in from like this, like that, on this side, and then this one will come in on this side. So, interesting deal for your seat bolts from now on future KTMs going forward. So we'll be getting back with you with further tests. So really cool, fun bike, man. Check it out. Hey, so we really like these IMS catch cans. They're a bunch of work to put in on a 2-stroke because you have to lift the engine because this is in the way. So you have to lift the engine. We already have the head off getting cut. And the radiators are already off, getting welded up. So we're already there. So we just lift it up. We're putting this in. You have to drill a hole in the frame right here. And then there's a little screw bolt that'll hold it in right here. we put like half the coolant in here, so when the thing does overflow, if you get it hot and overflows in here, it'll have some cooler coolant to suck back into the engine, and then the overflow will run out. So really cool catch can idea that IMS has come with, and it's in the frame. It's not back in your airbox or anything, so really cool setup from IMS for your KTM. This is on our 19300 XC. Okay, so we're back here in our 300 XC project. We've cut the head. Gives us a little bit more performance. We've actually reshaped the dome as well. And Tom Morgan at TMR has done this for us. This gives us a little bit more performance than what we've had in the past. So looking forward to testing this head out. Also over here for added cooling, we've added a TrailTech fan, which I'm a real big fan of. Not a ton of weight, but obviously adds some weight to the bike. But really aids in cooling these things. They're programmable right here, so they're really cool features. Plugs into the stock wiring harness, which is really cool. We've also had these radiators strengthened up. We're not going to run the cage braces because those sometimes can be a little hotter. They're also heavier, so we went ahead and had ICW custom make some bracing that still allows us to run the radiator fan on this side. And then on this side, see the bracing goes more to the middle here. So these are ready to bolt up, get a little bit further along in this 300 XC project. Okay, so to make your 19 KTM new style plastics, so SX, XC models like this, to make them faster, you simply got to let more air in. One of the easiest ways to do it's right here. This piece right here goes in here and blocks like serious mud, dirt, water from going in this way. Not a huge issue. The older bikes, the 16 through 18s, didn't have it, so you just got to simply cut this off. And hopefully I don't cut myself, but basically you just get a knife and cut like so, and you could cut it down a little further, I think. Something about like that. And then what you can do is once you put it in and check in here, you can see how much gap you have. And I'm probably going to go just a little bit more, but getting more airflow to your dirt bike, easiest way to pick up some power on the new 4-strokes or 2-strokes. Simple little deal. They're being ultra cautious by doing that. The bikes definitely like more air, so a simple little mod for your 19 and up KTM. Okay, so that's a fun look at all the little bits we did to this brand new bike. Now a lot of guys go, why do you do all this to a brand new bike? But because I can, and it makes it, for a trail bike especially, moto bikes not as big a deal, but for trail bikes it makes it really battle worthy and just a lot more comfortable on the trail. This is actually a bike we're going to have for a few years. So for us, this is a big time commitment. We want to make sure that it's really good. So really fun bike. With the Electron added on, we leaned it out half a turn from what they had it set at. With their metering rod, they're really good about getting you set up, getting you tech advice. With that, Tom Morgan cut the head, put the V-Force on there. Amazing. So the next step of this thing, I got a little list of stuff still to do. You can see I give it away a little bit by the seat cover. Got the seat cover done. We're gonna have some custom graphics made up for this thing. And we're gonna do a little bit of a first project with this thing before we take it out on our first ride trip. We're gonna go ride 3 or 4 days up in Utah here in the fall. And so that's a good look at a 19 300 XC. Amazing bike so far, just riding it around here. Definitely better than the 17 18. With Electron added on, of course, even better yet. So it feels really good. Really fun project. I'll be back with the part 2 and talk about just how, what we're able to do with throwing more stuff at it and getting it out on the trail. We'll check you out soon.